Hello everyone, my name is Jason Phillips, and this is my final project for EDAD 688. For this project, I'm developing a strategic action plan for Licking Heights local schools to go Google. So when we look at what is the issue, how do we know it's an issue, who's going to benefit, we have to start by looking at the school itself. Licking Heights local school district, just like every other school, is dealing with financial issues, trying to make ends meet, and unfunded mandates. And that's where this problem really developed. A couple years ago, the state announced that they're going to require that all park and AIR testing be done online, putting Licking Heights in a bind of trying to figure out how do they get the technology for the students. They chose to go with Chromebooks. Great solution, but created a whole nother problem. The staff uses PCs and Microsoft Office products. So now you have a severe disconnect where the students are working and living in a world of Google and the staff is working in a world of Microsoft. So in a survey that was sent out, the biggest question that supports this issue is they were asked how do they feel about their ability with Google Apps for Education. 10% of the staff said they're familiar with and can use Google Apps for Education on a regular basis if they chose to. 90% had issues. Okay, some a little bit less than others, but 90% felt like they were not where they need to be. So if you stop and think about that, the kids are all working on Chromebooks because of the testing mandate. The staff's all using Microsoft Office. You're going to have issues between not understanding the programs the kids are using, how they can turn in assignments. You're going to create redundant work where kids have to download, resave, analyze, do all that different stuff with the programs. Just problems galore. Okay, very clear need for the staff to change. Okay, and when you look at the stakeholders, this is where it becomes the most obvious solution. The kids are already using Google. The staff, they're going to go with what the training brings them. Okay, but you look at the administration team, you look at the superintendent, and you look at the school board and the community members. Which one's cheaper? Which one's cheaper is what the community cares about because they want to keep costs down. Administrative team and superintendent cares about which one's cheaper because that frees up money for other priorities. Microsoft has a licensure agreement, and PCs are more expensive than Chromebooks. Google has no licensure agreement. Costs, and Google Chromebooks are much cheaper. So by going Google, you're going to save money. You're going to make everybody happy. It's a win-win for the kids. It's a win-win for the community, and the staff gets the training to step into the next element of education. So, and looking at the primary goal of this plan is to lay the groundwork to start the staff down the path of going Google. Going Google is not going to happen overnight. Most of the time when you're going to Google, you're talking about a multi-year plan. So I'm just going to focus on the initial stage for this strategic action plan. Okay? And I'm going to go with the Teach the Teachers model. So we're going to take a district technology team. There's going to be one person from each building that's going to be a part of this team. And they're going to be the primary team that develops and looks at different things. So in assessing the staff, I sent out a survey to ask some general training questions to try to get together how I wanted to develop this kind of training. And in their results, two things really stood out. Okay? Regarding technology, the manner of training that best appeals to me, hands-on time with the trainer. Okay, and then the second question regarding technology, how much time would you like to spend playing around? A good part or most of the training. Over 80% of the staff wanted hands-on time with the trainer, and over 80% of the staff wanted a good part or most of the training to be hands-on time to play around with the technology. So right there, I know that any training that I put together to accomplish this goal of getting the staff to become Google users needs to have a ton of time built in, which means that I need to have a large team of trainers. So if I have an individual representing each building and they put together a team of 3 to 4 people that are willing to become Google certified educators, we now have 25 people to run trainings, 4 or 5 people in every building. And that's the next step of this plan, is to build the building teams. So what we're going to do is take the teams and have them become Google certified educators. Now, if you didn't know about this, this is a great program that Google runs for their for education. And you can go on to their Google for Education site. It's down right now. They're doing some repairs, but it'll be back up on June 28th. Okay. But you have 5 courses that you take through Google. Each modular has tons of information, and then you finish it with 60 multiple choice questions. And they're nitpicky, tough questions that you really got to know. Google requires that you pass Gmail, Calendar, Sites, Docs, and Drives, those 4 classes from them. And then you get the elective options. Now, for Licking Heights, their best choice is going to be Chromebooks because that's what the kids have. And that will help get the staff more familiar with the technology in the kids' hands. Each one of these tests is $15. So to become a Google certified educator is $75 in total. So I'd speak with the district curriculum director to try to get the district to pick up that cost, because these are the people that are going to be running the trainings, and they're going to be staff members already in the building, so they're not going to need to be paid extra for running the trainings versus sitting there and participating during professional development. Versus if we try to bring somebody in from Google, it's going to be a ton of money. Okay. So in looking at that, once we have the staff certified, then we can start running the district trainings. Now, taking into account that the staff wants tons of time to be hands-on, trainings would be done in the computer lab. You'd have multiple trainings going on where people can group by ability level, and you'd have multiple trainers in each room in order to oversee and help people and make it as much hands-on, one-on-one interaction, even in a group setting. But I also wanted to keep the training relatively basic. The groups need to be able to go at the pace that they're capable of. If some groups move ahead as a group, great. If some groups need to spend more time, that's fine. You don't want to overload. So each one of these trainings is developed for about 2 hours. This one training is developed for about 2 hours, but it hits a ton of information. And the neat thing with Google's is because so much of the information is repetitive of how you use Sheets versus Docs, you may spend a lot more time on Sheets, but things are going to get condensed down and you're going to be able to fly through the later part of the training. So you have different things that the instructor would go over. Now you'll notice right here, one of the more entertaining ones is how to save. Why would you put how to save into a Google training? Well, you don't have to save, and a lot of people don't realize that the first time that they're using Google. So if they're in Docs or they're in Sheets and they can't find that save button, they're going to get very, very frustrating. And frustration is a huge reason that people do not use technology. So you want to make sure that that is addressed. But I include using QR codes, using Google, activities to get people playing around, sharing and collaborating. You get into Docs, again, more activities, sharing, collaborating, forms, how to add new add-ons, how to collect that data, building the questions, all that information there. Google Slides, having them build their own slideshow with real-time chatting and editing so they can get those features. How to upload a file and save with Google Drive and how to use the basic features there. And then finishing off with Gmail. Gmail is its own separate entity, but making sure the staff understands what's going on with Gmail and how to use that. Okay, so that would be the basic outline for the trainings there. So when we take that and we look at the timeline for 2015, I actually already sent out the survey for May 20th. Getting the teams together by May 25th to design the trainings and meet about that, having the building teams together so that over the summer, by August 13th, they can have their certification, which August 13th is the day before school begins. The team, the main training team can meet on the 14th. The building trainings can go from August 18th to the 28th. With the primary goal of getting the groundwork laid. Now, there's going to be two elements to the training. There's going to be a 2-hour session that's led as a training using that sheet I just showed you. But then there'll be another 2-hour work session. And the 2-hour work session will be where the staff can come in, work in a computer lab with 1 or 2 Google trainers in there, but they're able to work on whatever they want to work. And this is where we get to our first measure of success or a personal objective, is each person's going to have to individually create and demonstrate that they can use one of the features of Google. So they have to create something, and they'll have to submit it to the building principal, they have to submit it to the technology team. They can get help, but it's hands-on. But so you have 4 hours of training broken up where it's training led with some free time, and then it's pure free time to show that you know what you're doing. We'll do a post-survey, which will help us gather data on how successful and impacting the training was. Did you find this to be helpful? How do you feel confident-wise? Google programs, how likely are you to use them? Which products do you find most useful, least useful? And that way we can gather data on what's going on to start measuring that success of the trainings there. Now we have 2 additional direct objectives for the district to help show that we're taking those step forwards and laying that groundwork for Google. The first one would be starting in October of the 2015-16 years. All department level communication, grade level meetings are to be done through Google and sharing documents and go paperless so that they can send their agendas, they can meet, they communicate that way. And then district objective 2 is to switch to Gmail in January of 2016 away from the lack of base mail. And then in February, we'll start the next phase by evaluating this phase and looking at what's going on there. So if you look at the 2 standards that are hit, learning and teaching, facilitating and supporting collaborative, technology-enriched learning, that's Google's all about that, and that's going to improve learning. Supporting management and operate, integrating the strategic plans, technology plans, and other improvement plans and policies to leverage resources. Google's about saving money. So in conclusion, when you look at this program and you look at what's going on, this is step one. You're not going to get it all done in overnight. It's going to take some time. But this allows for the staff to get more in line with the students' technology usage. It allows for measurable objectives for the staff to show and demonstrate that they know what they're doing using Google. It allows the school and the district to start taking some steps that show that the district, where we're at with district goals, and Gmail, to lay the groundwork so that in the following school years we can take more steps to getting further and further away from Microsoft Office and closer to Google. Plus, the whole time, it's creating an opportunity to save the district a lot of money. So I thank you for your time and have a great day.